Hello there and welcome to the seventh part of our walkthrough of Senua's Sacrifice. We are hunting for pieces of the sword, and you can see a Drakkar, the shipwreck of a Drakkar in the distance, and what appears to be the ruin of a very pretty mansion. Maybe we'll get to actually explore there. Guess we'll see.
I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Baldur, the second son of Odin. He was beautiful, good and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments.
Lawful good paladin.
Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
That's what happens to paladins in most games as well. You get a rogue or something with sneak attack, and it's bye bye paladin. And we actually get to explore the house, this beautiful mansion, which sounds fun.
The bridge. You've come this far, but the bridge is broken. What do you do else?
What do I do now? Lower this drawbridge in the first place.
What does it say? It's dangerous. Don't go near it. Don't go there. Don't go to the price. Don't go to the mask. The mask is here to watch you fail. Okay. You want to see what the mask sees.
Pretty neat.
Where are we? It's the same. It's another world. It's lighter.
This is like the guest house to Helheim, if you look at it carefully. So it's on the other side of the
It's
bridge
safe here.
to the underworld.
It's light here.
And to be honest, if I were an ambassador from Midgard, wanting to explore the depths of Helheim, I would enjoy a diplomatic house like this one. So...
The bridge. It's fixed. Let's cross it. Don't forget. You need the runes to fight Dillian.
only one room this time around.
He's waiting for you. He's close.
The atmosphere in this so-called world is
Dillian, we're here.
really pretty.
We're nearly here.
I'm really impressed with the aesthetics of it. So apparently what you do in one of the worlds has effects upon the other world as well. Look how cool these lighting effects are. With the rays of the sun. So yeah, so what you do in one world echoes throughout the void.
She can't. It's locked.
So these gates are closed apparently. And you can't find the rooms anywhere around. So let's go back and use the mask again. Since now we have a way to get to the house in the other world as well. To be honest, I wish there were more maps like that one in this game. But I understand why the overall atmosphere has to be dark and foreboding.
Dillian, there he is. What are you waiting for? Find him. Dillian, don't lose him.
Delia.
Too many times. Dillian, there he is. Where is he? We're in the wrong world. She's in the He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
The dark world was barred and inaccessible. We need to explore this world now.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillian taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of colour stretching away from the glow. Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
So again we have echoes of this dialectics between light and dark. But also the game suggests that this dialectics is a false one. And that the world is not only light and darkness, it's all the shades in between. And sometimes seeing all the colors
That's the reason she's alive at
the
all.
world has to offer is the most difficult feat of them all. But it is also what makes you a conqueror
Does it feel like to
of
feel
life
love so strong?
and death. Okay, so we need to find this sign.
You can't go up there. Not in this world.
Yes.
You can't. Dillian didn't believe in the curse. Dillian believed in you.
So
He's the reason she's alive at all.
let's open this gate. And this one, so now we can access the home in the other world as well. Good for us.
Do you remember the smell of his neck?
Smell of his neck.
It's kinda...
This is getting kinky. Is there something over there?
We spend our lives searching for the meaning in life, and we ask the gods for guidance.
But the truth to life is revealed when we can face death without fear. How can the gods understand us if they refuse to die themselves?
True. But the problem can also be seen from, let's say, a different angle. So, how can the gods understand us if they can't die? But on the other hand, how can we understand the gods if we're mortal? So this is an ontological difference.
He saw who she could be. He saw who she really was. He saw the warrior within.
That really can't be overcome. And basically all legends, or all myths, all stories of transcendence are basically centered around humans trying to become gods. So trying to breach, trying to overcome this ontological divide between immortals and mortals.
Do you think she remembers him?
That's what demigods are, for example.
You owe your life.
There are entities with one, let's say, with one foot in the mortal world and with one foot in the world of the gods. And we also have another name for these demigods, and that is heroes. The Greek also saw them as heroes. They associated to a great degree the demigod and the hero, because this is, let's say, the climax, the ultimate point of what humans can aspire to, can aspire towards. And I'm glad the game makes a reference of that.
Do you remember the way he touched you?
So where is this F?
Dillian saved you from them.
You have...
He was kind to her.
Oh, so... this kind of resembles the sign, but it's oriented the wrong way, so maybe it's shadow?
He saved you.
Oh, right. It's all in the sun rays, so follow the light. No? There we go.
Senua was the only one you couldn't. He loved us. Why isn't he here? He's gone. He's in the dark world. He's gone to the dark world. You're in the wrong world. He's in the other world. Without you.
I like how these voices, when let's say when you follow Dillian and he escapes, and they sometimes say something like follow the light, go into the light. That's basically an allegory for death. So by following the light, by going into the light, maybe she's also bound to die. Maybe that's the only way that her and Dillian can be together. After all, she is breaching the underworld in search for him. Orpheus, for example, in the Greek folklore, had to face this threat as well. He could have stayed in the underworld if he weren't able to convince Hades to let the soul of his loved one go. But of course, if you know that legend, you also know that it doesn't have a happy ending. So love, in the end, is what cursed the couple, because Orpheus couldn't let go of Eurydice. He had to make sure that she was right behind him, and he looked back towards her, which is exactly what Hades asked him not to do, and at that moment her soul was banished all over again, and he lost her because he couldn't follow a set of simple instructions. Of course, the mythological connotations here are more numerous, but this is the point of many legends, many stories from both the Norse and the Greek mythology, and even the Celtic one. Love can save you, but love can also doom you. And in many cases, gods use love to settle a balance or to settle a score that only they themselves know.
There he is. Where are you taking him?
He's up there. He's up there. How do you get up there? There's a way.
There is a way up there.
She can do this.
You're nearly there. Just find the highest limits.
So we need to repair this bridge over here.
She thought she knew best.
She thought she had light within her when she was born.
She is pure darkness.
What am I not doing correctly?
Your curse has claimed Dillian.
Poor dear. He didn't know. He was kind.
This is a pretty hard puzzle. I mean, you need to be very thorough with your position, so I'm not exactly sure what's on the ground. There we go.
You have blood on your hands.
You are guilty.
You will always be guilty.
Was it worth it?
Did we read this story?
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Balder, striking them with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a
Listen to your
woman
father
and
when you
asks
have a
Balder's
chance.
mother, "Is it really true
This
that
love
all
has tortured
things
you
promised
and
to
it
keep
will
it
stay.
safe?" "I did not ask permission to look," Balder's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
Okay, so up and up we go. Dillian!
Things we love, you
You kill the things that are most precious to you. Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Lillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement. An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel and her past, and Dillian, her future. Two realities tearing at her soul.
Two realities that have now become versions of her past, competing versions of her past, so to speak.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Balder. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it in the sea and sent for Giantess. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her wings. She pushes Balder's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Balder's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief. She dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. Soon, gods cannot accept his death.
There we go.
You have no time for this. Speed up. It's all part of their game. They've set trials to distract you.
They set you up and now they're going to watch you.
What if these trials mean nothing?
It's very interesting that these voices start to doubt Senua more and more,
You were guilty.
which kinda means that
Was it worth it?
she is doubting herself more and more.
Just to tire you out, to make you weak.
Maybe she just doesn't realize it yet. Or she doesn't want to realize it.
He didn't believe that she was cursed. He said when everyone else turned their backs.
The arrow, the arrow. I can see the arrow.
He didn't believe that she was cursed. He said when everyone else turned their backs.
Okay. So there's another rune.
Dillian undoes the curse. Does it hurt to feel a love so strong?
Okay.
You're cursed.
So we need to lower the drawbridge to the right. But for that, I think you need to open this door first.
Look what happens to the things you love. Do you remember him whispering in your ear?
go back here for now. And maybe find a way to open that door.
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Balder return home. All the gods are weeping, he says. Are they? Asks Hela. We shall see his true nest. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Balder stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Balder, weep him out of Hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they found in a cave. Balder was never my friend, she says. Let Hell keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
Yep, Loki was a shapeshifter in Norse mythology. What is interesting here, and it doesn't pertain only to Norse culture, is that many mythologies pay very much attention to this status of a trickster god. What exactly is a trickster god? And many of these gods are particularly powerful. Loki is one example of that. But in the Amerindian culture, in the Australian Aborigine culture, in many other cultures, the situation is basically repeated. And we kind of tend to associate the trickster god with something evil. But I guess it is something more than that. Because a trickster god doesn't necessarily care for either good or evil. He just sees, a trickster god simply sees the world as his playground. So his main purpose is to amuse himself.
Why didn't she listen to her father?
And to put mortals into situations, and even to put other gods into situations that are basically funny for him or interesting for him. And that's what makes a trickster god so interesting, because he's not necessarily an evil entity, but we tend to perceive him as such because we are simply the direct victims of his games. And you could say to a certain extent that Destiny is a trickster god as well.
Your curse has claimed Dillion.
Or at least that we perceive Destiny as a trickster god. Because it is very hard for us to make peace with our destiny when that destiny doesn't correspond to our intimate wishes and desires. And the fact all destinies lead towards death and are concluded by death is already a very hard pill to swallow for most people. So yes, here.
Runes, you see runes everywhere.
Everywhere.
But what if they're not real?
What if they don't actually make sense?
The gods were lying. If you think it makes sense,
No
maybe
sound
the
to
gods
this one.
are playing with you.
It makes sense in your mind, but it doesn't make sense.
Worlds. But it doesn't mean anything.
This language you don't understand.
Senua was right.
I guess this is a minor bug.
Time cursed. Never succeed.
So.
Quicker.
Or maybe just the voices in her mind overpower everything at this point.
Daniel put a poisonous serpent over his face so that its venom would drip onto him. Each time the venom drips onto Loki's face, he writhes in agony. The Northmen say that is the cause of earthquakes. A reminder, perhaps, that even gods must accept death. And so must we.
This is a really hard one, I think. Oh no, look over there.
Do you even remember?
His love is gone. He's the reason she keeps fighting.
Okay.
Do you remember just what it was to touch my minute, my minute? You remember meeting him in the tree? Special. They mean nothing.
So where was the central door?
It could all be a waste of her time.
I think it was in the other realm.
What if the gods are not? It wouldn't be this. Be the first time. Nobody will love her now. The thing she loves, she destroys.
I love her, she's pretty cool. So, of course, in order to get to Dillion, you need to pass over a chasm. Why doesn't this surprise me at all?
Very, very careful.
That's why I said
Much cared for the underworld.
Dillion is like a will of the wisp at
Dimly
times.
upon the druids, like her father, Senua. I guess he took after his father, the chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see. And he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. Slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
Yes. That's it. Go.
Dillion! This really reminds me of the Void's godsend.
She's strong. She's steady. She can do it. You can do it.
Run!
Senua, your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. Your father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what night looks like. Where dark day means a little to my light. person is afraid of the dark. So we fix them by taking away their sight. But you give up the beautiful world. You, only you can see just to be rid of your nightmares. Which gives the ocean very easy.
They're taking your memories to torture you. Every time you remember, it disappears. They're going to take everything you have and move the ghosts. They're eating you from the inside.
They want to kill your soul.
They want to crush it. Body, they want your soul.
They want your mind and they're going to take it.
The memories were yours, but they're the gods now.
Nothing is yours anymore.
What the voices are saying in these moments, I find to be really interesting actually, because they keep saying they're stealing your memories, they're taking Dillian away from you. So it's like for every shard of this mental sword that she wants to possess, for every shard that she gets, she has to pay with a fragment of her memories. I think this is pretty great, actually. A pretty great theme, because you cannot obtain something without trading something in return. And in order to get something new, you need to let go of something old, something you don't want anymore. Only Senua wants her memories of Dillian. She is dependent on her memories of Dillian. But in order to fulfill her redemption quest, so to speak, and save Dillian's soul, she has the impression that she also needs this sword in order to kill Hela. So it is pretty convoluted actually. The past creates the future creates the past. Since everything happens at a mental level, it is very hard to put a certain order into all these memories and their consequences, which is the trigger, which is the cause, which is the effect. Did they happen? Did two or more events happen through coincidence, through synchronicity? Even these memories, as you look at them, they are not necessarily ordered chronologically, and you can do the pillars, you can look into the pillars and obtain the shards in any order that you want. So this is what I said with Ruth as well, that I wasn't sure that she found Ruth before losing Dillian or afterwards. It wouldn't stand to reason that she found him afterwards, that she started her journey afterwards. But is that really the case? Who knows? And this is a very cool aspect of the game, in my opinion. The last shard, I think.
The Northmen say that their Allfather, Odin, gave his eye in exchange for a drink from Mimir's well, the well of wisdom. In blindness there can be wisdom. Only by giving can you receive in return.
This is exactly what I said.
For this reason, I give my life and pass on my stories of the Northmen to you, Senua.
Can't you see it?
Help me.
Breathe slow. Stay still. Empty your thoughts. Tell me what you feel.
The breeze.
Good. And there is a way out.
I can't tell where it comes from.
Yes, you can.
This is pretty scary. There are only minimal visual cues as to where you have to go. This could be also linked to what I said before. Her memories are almost gone by this point in time. She traded her memories for pieces of the sword, and now only the echo, the distant echo of the world and the distant echo of Dillion remains inside her mind.
The others. The voices. They've gone.
I'm still here.
It's so quiet. So dark.
It's okay. Listen to your own breath. Feel it rise and fall. Good. Be aware of everything you hear and feel. Let your senses guide you.
I can't go on. Will you?
Find a way. I'm not leaving you here.
I love the minimal sound effects in this part of the game. So there are torches here and here. And what else? Are we going back now? It's very hard to say. So this was the door that she couldn't access. This is where we're coming from. And what else is there? This way is blocked. So in theory you have to follow these torches. One, two, three torches. Is there anything else? This way is blocked as well. Oh, through here. I honestly would never want to experience something like this in real life. Now even Dilian's voice is no longer here. And I have no idea, absolutely no idea if I'm going the right way. Apparently I'm not, because I should have heard something. I have a feeling I'm gonna be lost through these corridors, in these corridors, a very long time. So how did I get back here? Because the entrance, I was 100% sure that the new entrance I had found was a different entrance, but apparently it wasn't. And I just don't know what to do in this corridor here. What on earth is there to do? Find a way, he said. Find a way. This way? Apparently not.
I think I'm somewhere else. The breeze has gone.
Use all your senses. Let the world speak to you. What do you hear?
Bring your water.
Go to it.
All my senses, unfortunately I can't taste anything, for example.
Let's reach the water.
Good. That's your way out. Follow it upstream.
Upstream,
I thought I left this all behind.
so this way.
Don't be sorry. It's not your fault.
He was right. It's inside. It won't let me go.
Senua. My father. He told me the hardest battles are fought in the mind, not the soul. You're no coward. You proved that to me in warrior trials. This is just another battle. You can beat it.
This isn't your bed. You don't have to help me.
I want to. Besides, you are going to be a great warrior man. You need to be right.
I'll do my best.
Dead
I know
bodies.
what you're thinking. It's not really you. It seems there's no escaping the past in this place. And so she's forced to relive it. To what end?
Are these the bodies that died of plague? If you remember earlier, it was implied that the villagers accused her of starting a plague when she started seeing bodies coming downstream before that actually happened. So it's probably that memory, or glimpses of it at least, echoes of it, as I used to say.
There's a lot of I can't go on this way.
Then look for another way and tell me what you find.
There is a house. I don't know what's inside.
Don't be afraid.
There's something in here.
Do you see it? Then it cannot see you. Quietly move past, one step at a time.
So there it is. Nightmare phantasm or something. Very silent here. Okay, let's try to move past it.
It's not following me.
Leave it behind. Keep moving forwards.
Forwards into the darkness. Oh wait, there are campfires here. But wow, look at how many monsters there are as well. So they are like demons of gluttony. They look like demons of gluttony. And apparently they have some set patterns, set routes, and you need to move forward while they have their back turned on you. Okay, move away, move away. There you go. That one is stationary apparently. Phew.
I think I'm in a house. It stinks. Death.
The darkness is testing you. You are in control.
So, what am I supposed to find now? Oh good, another chasm.
As well.
Don't turn back. You're getting close.
Do we need to drop into the well? I could have also dropped a penny for good luck.
Help me.
New monsters, monsters galore. Jesus. And dead bodies as well. But I prefer them to the monsters. How do we get past that one? Damn. Fuck. Wow. So I guess you need to run between them to a certain degree. This is hard. Forward, forward. Yes, I'm sure you can. But you're always getting further and further away from me.
She could spend hours, days even, trapped within herself, in the dark.
You see me?
Yes.
Your eyes were open, but you were gone.
And when it finally let her go, she could be anywhere, with no memory of how she got there.
So these are basically blackouts.
I have no power.
But here, for the first time, someone was there to help.
I heard your voice. You brought me back.
You found your own way back. All you needed was a little help. A little hope.
So that whole level was basically one big metaphor or allegory of a blackout.
Go get the sword.
I guess it can still be interpreted.
With armor reforged, we will have Odin's blessing to walk a goddess into the halls of Helheim and challenge Hela as an equal.
So Dillion was helping me. And the sword will lead me to him. I
like when we first met.
So I guess it can still be interpreted the way I've done before. So she traded her memories of Dillian in order to get the sword. She traded her past for the future, but for a future that can redeem her past to a certain degree. But if we're to be less philosophical about it, it can also be interpreted as just one big allegory or metaphor of a blackout. And people with mental problems, and not only them, can experience such blackouts. We already know that. At any rate, this has been a long part of the video, of the walkthrough. I'm gonna end this here. And in the next part, we're gonna find out what happens when we reforge the sword. And of course, we'll continue our journey. Until then, take care of yourselves.